This is the instant news, and here are today's news. More Biden scandals exposed, involving Obama and Pfizer. Fake media reports out of context that Trump admits defeat. Beijing secretly joined the Biden campaign. Trump will have several harsh measures against China in the coming weeks. Biden's scandal has been exposed again recently. Federal filings show that the cancer charity started by Joe Biden have given out no money to research and spend most of its contributions on staff salaries. The Epoch Times introduced the relationship between the Biden Cancer Initiative, Pfizer, and Obama's cabinet on November 15th. It concluded that this foundation is not a charity it claims to be, but an organization that paid high salaries for Obama and Pfizer's executives. The article stated that Biden's Cancer Initiative was founded in 2017 by the former vice president and his wife Jill to develop and drive implementation of solutions to accelerate progress in cancer prevention, detection, diagnosis, research, and care to reduce disparities in cancer outcomes, according to its IRS mission statement. But it gave out no grants in its first 2 years and spent millions on the salaries of former Washington, D.C. aides it hired. According to IRS data, the charity took $4,809,619 in contributions in fiscal years 217 and 218, and then spent $3,070,301 on payroll in those 2 years. According to the charity's most recent federal tax filings, the group's president, Gregory Simon, raked in $429,850 in fiscal 2018, July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019. After Biden was elected, he and Jill resigned from the foundation, so the foundation's operations were suspended. But Simon said that without Biden's name, the foundation will become increasingly challenging to operate. On Sunday, many media took what President Trump said out of context, claiming Trump had admitted that Biden won the election. But Trump immediately refuted by tweeting that Biden only won the election in the eyes of fake media, and he would never admit defeat. Following the claim on November 7th that Biden won the election, numerous media reported on the 15th that Trump acknowledged Biden's victory for the first time. On Saturday, Fox News conservative commentator Jesse Waters said on the show that this election is very wrong. How could Biden lead? Even Biden himself never thought he could win. In response to this, President Trump tweeted, he won because of election fraud, including banning observers and scrutineers from entering, using the extreme left-owned company Dominion to count votes, and false or complete silent media participation. However, Trump's tweet was taken out of context by many mainstream media, saying that Trump had admitted for the first time that Biden won the election, or Trump seems to be planning on to admit that he lost the election. 2 hours later, Trump tweeted again, Biden just won in the eyes of the fake news media. I will never admit defeat. The road ahead is still very long. This is a fraudulent election. We will eventually win. Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, said on the Fox program that Trump did not admit that he lost the election. He said that Biden won was the ironic statement. The media said that Biden won, and Trump next pointed out it was illegal. This is obviously, he said, actively challenging this election. Some analysts believe that in the face of the rapid progress of Trump team's legal proceedings in several key states and the massive information about election fraud exposed one after another, those media that support the Biden campaign have once again raised public opinion to appeal to Trump. Trump supporters and the public pressured everyone to accept the so-called fait accompli. However, more and more Americans no longer believe in the so-called mainstream media reports and continue to hold stop stealing protests throughout the United States every weekend to support Trump. The U.S. election's actual result is still undecided, but the mainstream media announced that Biden won the election, and Biden himself claimed victory too. Although Beijing's statement is still unclear, it has been reported that the Biden project has been secretly launched. Some pro-communist Hong Kong media reported that the Chinese Communist Party and the Biden teams have joined. According to a report by Hong Kong's South China Morning Post on November 15th, after major media announced Biden's victory in the presidential election, semi-official contacts between China and the United States have resumed. The report pointed out that such semi-official exchanges were mainly achieved through former officials, think tank scholars, and business leaders. Wang Xiangsui, a professor and retired CCP Air Force colonel, reviewed the news in a closed-door seminar. He said, in the past few months, due to Sino-U.S. relations deterioration, these exchanges have been interrupted, and they are now gradually recovering. The main people who have restored contact are those affiliated with the Democratic Party. He said that people close to Biden recently contacted a Chinese think tank to discuss how and restore relations between the two countries. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of CCP China congratulated Biden on November 13th, but did not mention President-elect, thus showing caution in its word choice. Many analysts believe that the CCP is worried about Trump's comeback, which would be a severe blow. American news media Axios reported on November 15th that President Trump would take a number of harsh measures against China in the final weeks of his first term. The report quoted senior officials who had direct contact with the relevant program, saying that Trump administration plans to sanction more Chinese companies, government officials, and institutions suspected of violating human rights in Xinjiang and Hong Kong or harming the national security of the United States. U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Elliott warned that unless Beijing changes directions and assumes a responsible role on the international stage, the future president of the United States will find that the historic move to overthrow Trump is the political equivalence of suicide. The report also mentioned that senior U.S. government officials are discussing further expanding the Pentagon's lists of Chinese companies believed to have ties with the Chinese military. At the same time, Mike Pompeo, who was visiting Europe on Monday, sent heavy news in a tweet. He said that the United States would continue to implement the Magnitsky Act and bring persecutors to justice. On Thursday, the U.S. government announced that it prohibits U.S. citizens from investing in 31 companies on the list that enclosed related to the Chinese People's Liberation Army. U.S. officials also plan to take measures against China's alleged increasing use of forced labor in its highly competitive fisheries. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to turn on the bell to receive our latest notifications.